things off, Brian, good fella Perella, who's coming in at 17 victories, 14 by knockout, opposite of 3 defeats and 1 draw, as he's taking on Kevin Salgado, who is unbeaten, undefeated, 14-0 with 9 wins by knockout in a 10-round super welterweight bout. And now I'll turn things over to our fighters, and first off with you, Brian Perella, as we look to you, you fought a man that is also here on this stage in your last bout, Tony Superbad Harrison, who is going to be featured in our co-main event, and we'll get to him in just a few moments. That fight ended up in a draw. What did you think of that performance? First off, did you feel like you won that fight? And what did you learn about that going up against a former world champion?
First and foremost, I just want to say thank you. It's a pleasure to be part of this event with Showtime, TGB Promotions, Al Heyman, for getting me on this platform. The Tony Harrison fight was amazing. It was, a great experience for me. I've only learned so much and evolved into a whole nother fighter since that fight, and because of that fight, Tony Harrison's a heck of a fighter, and he should get any flack for how that fight went. I'm a very difficult person to be in the ring with, and I'll be looking to show that Saturday night.
One thing I don't think people realize is your resume is pretty stacked with a lot of notable names. You're someone that has been willing to fight a lot of guys that the boxing world knows very well. I mean, you fought Yordenis Ugas, who is now the current WBA welterweight champion, who we'll see on Showtime pay-per-view next week, against Errol Spence Jr. You have fought, obviously, the former world champion, Tony Superbad Harrison, Abel Ramos, another notable name in the welterweight division. What is it about you always wanting to fight the toughest opponent you can get your hands on?
Look, I don't shy away from a challenge. I look forward to tough fights. Win, lose, or draw, I learn and I grow from each and every endeavor I'm in. Every fight that I'm in, I'm just going to continue to progress and evolve as a new fighter. Losses don't get to me. They just make me more hungry to come back better and stronger to prove everybody that, I'm not going to lay down. I'm not going to give up on myself. I'm a force to be reckoned with, and I'm going to keep getting better and better each and every fight.
Now we see your trainer, who's here in attendance, one of the all-time greats in boxing history, Roy Jones Jr. What have you learned from him? I know he helped you in your last fight against Tony Harrison, and now you've had more time to train with him and learn from one of the greatest of all time. How has that experience been so far?
It's been a mind-blowing experience since the day I've walked into the gym. Roy is, he's a genius in his field. And for me, I feel like a kid in a candy store because I'm learning something new every single day. It's really crazy. Like every time I'm done training with him, my mind is tired. Like my brain needs to recover. So it's really incredible experience being with him, and it's exciting to train because it's always going to be something new, and I'm always going to keep growing with that kind of teacher in my corner. I mean, the sky's the limit.
And now we're 10-0 with 9 knockouts, fighting out of San Antonio, Texas, but he is from Mexico City. We have our translator, Martin Batard, here who will be translating for Kevin. And first off, Kevin, you are the younger brother of former super featherweight champion Juan Carlos Salgado. This is your first bout on Showtime here in the U.S. What can fans expect to see from you here this Saturday night?
Bueno, tu hermano mayor, Juan Carlos, es un campeón. Ahora, ¿cuál va a ser tu misión en esta pelea? ¿Cuál va a ser tu objetivo para que puedas empezar a crear tu propio legado aquí en Las Vegas?
Hola a todos, gracias por venir. Estoy muy emocionado por estar aquí. La misión es salir con la mano en alto en esta pelea y empezar mi carrera como una grande estrella en Estados Unidos.
Well, thanks everybody for being here. I'm so excited to be facing this fight, facing this challenge. I feel more prepared than ever. And the goal is to create my own legacy and to become a star here in the United States.
Now, obviously, as I mentioned, your brother, a world champion. What was that like seeing him and his journey to become a world champion? And what has he told you? What have you learned from him? and what it takes to become a world champion at the top of the sport.
Obviamente cuando uno es un hermano menor y ve al hermano mayor lograr el objetivo máximo del boxeo, debiste haber estado súper orgulloso. ¿Te dio algún consejo? ¿Qué te dice él de cara a esta pelea?
Sí, estoy muy orgulloso, muy emocionado de llegar a estas grandes ligas, grandes funciones de boxeo. Y la meta es llegar a ser campeón del mundo como él, no de 2 títulos, sino de los 4 títulos. Él está en mi esquina, me apoya en lo táctico, físico y mentalmente me apoya siempre.
My older brother is in my corner and he supports me both on the physical, mental and boxing aspects of everything. He gives me great advice and I want to surpass what he did. I want to win not just 2 titles but all 4. I want to be undisputed. I want to be a star here in the US and that starts now.
And now, obviously, I'm going to ask both of you guys, prediction Saturday night, first with you, Brian. What do you see happening Saturday night?
Whether it ends in knockout, 10 rounds, 20 rounds, it doesn't matter. I'll be looking to put on a spectacular and dominating performance since the beginning of the first bell.
And same question to you, Kevin. What's your prediction this Saturday?
Bueno, Kevin, vaticinio para este sábado, ¿qué va a pasar? ¿Ganás por nocaut? ¿Ganás por puntos? ¿Cómo la ves?
Pues esperen una gran pelea, vamos a salir victoriosos y posiblemente llegue el knockout.
You're gonna have to expect fireworks. It's gonna be quite a show. And who knows? You may have to expect a knockout.
Well, there you heard it. That's Sergio El Nino Garcia, 33-1 with 14 wins by knockout, as he takes on the former world champion Tony Superbad Harrison, 28-3-1 with 21 victories by knockout in a 10-round super welterweight bout. First, starting things off with you, Sergio. You suffered your first defeat in a very tight bout against the man that is right next to you, who is headlining this bout as well, Sebastian Fundora. That was your first fight in the U.S. On Showtime. What did you think of your performance against Fundora, and what did you learn about yourself?
Bueno, Sergio, tu debut en Estados Unidos, tu debut por Showtime, terminó también contigo perdiendo el invicto ante el que está al lado tuyo, Fundora. ¿Cuál es tu conclusión? ¿Qué pensaste de esa pelea? ¿Qué lecciones aprendiste de cara a este nuevo desafío?
Bueno, yo creo que saqué todo lo positivo, ¿no? Que fue entrar en Estados Unidos, hacer una gran pelea con Sebastián y afincarnos aquí, ¿no? Y repetir y ahora hacer con un ex campeón mundial tener otra oportunidad.
I took only positives from my fight against Fundora. He and I fought a great fight. I learned a lot of valuable lessons and I plan to apply them now in my second time around. I'm going to be fighting a former world champion. So I'm going to take that experience, take it into a positive and be even better on Saturday night.
You said that you've always wanted to fight the best in this division. And you certainly did that when you fought Fundora. And now you're fighting another top contender in this division, former world champion, and Tony Harrison. What would a win over Tony Harrison do for your career?
Vos siempre dijiste, quiero pelear contra los mejores, lo está demostrando. Peleaste contra Fundora, ahora vas a ir en busca de Harrison. ¿Qué significaría una victoria este sábado para vos, para tu carrera, para lo que querés conseguir?
Bueno, yo he dicho desde el primer momento que no rehuyo pelea, que yo peleo con el que me pongan y quiero pegarme con los mejores, ¿no? De eso se trata, de estar en esta liga y Samson me está dando las oportunidades y yo quiero cumplir. La pelea con Harrison para mí es como... Me lo tomo como Harrison cuando estuvo con Charlo, como un campeonato mundial, porque el futuro de mi familia, de mi esquina y de mi carrera depende de la victoria de esta pelea.
I've said it from the beginning, I don't run or shy away from any kind of fights. Fortunately, Samson Likovic, he gives me the best opportunities. So I feel lucky to have him on my side. As far as the objective against Harrison, I'm going to take it just as he did against Charlo. Like, for me, this is a world championship fight. My legacy, my family's future, my own future depends on the outcome of this fight.
Thank you, Sergio. And now we turn from Detroit, Michigan. Tony Superbad Harrison, the only man to defeat current unified super welterweight champion Jermell Charlo, and now you are looking to get back to the top of the division. Tony Harrison, it's been slightly less than a year since you fought Bryant Perella, who's on this stage, as we mentioned earlier before. What did you learn in that fight that turned into a draw? And what is it going to take for you to get back to the top of this division?
I mean, for me, it was just a fight. I think I probably took the fight a little too soon for me losing my pops and shit like that. Like my mind wasn't really, and it was just like a go fight, and I think I rushed it probably a little too fast. And Brian Perella took the opportunity to come up and weight, not have to lose weight, and come in as strong as possible, and have Roy in his corner. I think everything worked for him for sure. And I thought it was a tight outing. I thought I probably pulled it off, but like I said, the experience for me was no different from any other. I done fought plenty of southpaws. I fought tough opponents, and I don't think that I really learned anything in the fight, but just take my time. Some of these bitches don't know how to take their time because they rush and lose fights, and then want to win it, and then want to do one little whole shit, little bitch ass nigga. And little bitch ass niggas don't know how to sit back and wait. And then little bitch want to wait and then want to lose and still want to talk about shit that. And then nigga want to lose and still talk about motherfucking fight. Shit. Oh yeah, but man, you a fucking lame ass nigga. You a lame ass nigga.
Here on the stage. Let's get you back on stage.
Wow. That's Louis.
Let's leave it to the fighters here on this stage, people. Let's wait for Saturday night. And let's leave it. We got Tony Harrison. He is fighting Sergio Garcia. He's not fighting here. I know there's people
lucky
talking.
I missed. He fucking lucky I missed. But
let's turn our attention, Tony, as we had that little
you
scuffle.
fucking lucky I be sick of these bitch ass niggas, man. Like respect is just I'm swear to God, if it ain't gonna be given to me, I'm gonna take that shit. Yeah, from here on out, my nigga, it's just it ain't no money involved, ain't none of the bullshit involved. If you ain't gonna give me the respect, I'll take it. So we can keep going.
Turning the attention back to Sergio, Tony. As we saw, you mentioned, your father passed away. He was your head trainer for a long time, and now your brother LJ took things over. It was your first fight. I know he's been in the gym with you. He's always been there in your corner, but that was his first time being the head trainer. How has that boxing relationship developed over the past year?
I'm gonna tell you this, man. Like it's like a family business relationship is so fucking hard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's super hard, man. It's almost guaranteed that you in whatever relationship you got with your family is gonna be fucked up. It's gonna be fucked up. So you gotta be like fucked up in the head to fuck some shit up that's already not fucked up. You know what I mean? Like me and my brother, we grew up together, man. But the business part of the aspect of the sport that we in, we clash heads a lot. You know what I mean? And so from time to time, it takes us out of our business of being brothers. You know what I mean? So, but it's all cool though, man. For this sport in general, you got to be strong-minded, strong-willed, and strong-minded. Period. So that's nothing that we don't never get over, man. We always kiss and make up. But for me, man, it's just always for me having somebody in the corner that knows me, I know them, that love me, I love them. I think it's like I wouldn't have nobody else in my corner. I think just for this fight in general. My brother is more of a muscle kind of guy. Like he more of a guy that's gonna tell me and get to me because he know how to get to me. He know how to talk to me. He know how to say the shit that need to be said to push me harder. But I think for this fight that's a little different. I brought in brother Fareed, who knows the sweet science of the sport, who was able to add in some of the stuff that my brother was missing. Like I said, I got the muscle and the teacher. Like I said, brother Fareed already touched base on stuff that I already knew from my father. But it just, sometimes we tend to forget or we tend to get sidetracked on what the basis is on the aspect of the sweet science part. And just bringing brother Fareed in just kind of brought that back to my attention. And I got the muscle and the brains. I don't think I can be beat.
What's your prediction? And we'll ask Sergio after you answer. What's your prediction this Saturday night?
You know, you used to be talking no shit. He ain't gonna understand it. So just win, man. Find a way to win, man. The name of the game is just win, man. Uncle always tell me, I don't give a fuck how you do it, just win. So that's the name of the game, man. Just win. Like I said, man. I think this motherfucker that I know nothing about is probably one of the toughest opponents that I probably could have chosen. You know what I mean? Coming off a draw, and I think choosing a guy like that who just fought the guy that was everybody damn near was afraid of the fight and took that man to the fucking wire. And I'm like, oh, that's a good gauge. And I like this lineup in general, or you know, the whole card all the way through. Everybody's in the same weight, and it's just a way for us to gauge each other. It's a way for me to look at Lubin and Fundora and be like, damn, okay, I see this, I see that. It's a way for them to look at us and say the same thing. It's a way for them to look at the, you know, so it's just a way for us to be competitive in the same weight class and us to gauge each other. And like I said, man, the best man gonna win. The one that's best prepared gonna win all the way through. But it's an amazing card from top to bottom, and you know the best man gonna win all the way through.
And to you, Sergio.
Primero que nada, Tony decía que él está muy entusiasmado por pelear contra vos por el hecho de que fuiste hasta el final contra Fundora, un oponente al que parece que todos le tienen miedo, ¿no? Y entonces ahora la pregunta de Miguel es, ¿cuál es tu vaticinio para esta pelea contra un rival que claramente te respeta mucho?
Bueno, yo siempre lo digo, ¿no? Que no puedo prometer la victoria siempre que uno lo dice de boca, ¿no? Hay que subir y demostrarlo. Y yo vengo a pelear, yo vengo a por la victoria, ¿no? En el boxeo puede pasar de todo, pero yo entreno por y para ganar y esa es mi intención. Seguro que él también. También quiero decir que no sé lo que le habrá pasado con ese chico porque no entiendo el idioma, pero que le tiene muy enfadado y que los protagonistas del sábado somos Tony Harrison y Sergio García. Cham, ok.
Yes.
Que no sé tan rato que nosotros somos los protagonistas, nos toca a nosotros ahora.
Alright, so let's do this in two parts, okay? So first of all, Tony, Sergio respects you so much and he knows that you are a great champion and he wants you to know that whatever happened with that guy, he doesn't understand English obviously, so he didn't quite understand what was going on exactly, but he wants everybody to know that the protagonists of this fight are you and him, nobody else. So that whatever happened, he wants everyone to know that he's the one fighting you. And as far as the prediction, Sergio is like, I could tell you that I want to win, but what's that worth? I have to show it inside the ring, where my preparation, my training is always with the objective to win. So we'll see what happens on Saturday night.
My last thing with this. It's so fucking hard to fight guys like him, man. They such good people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he trying to butter you up, and I know he trying to butter me up and give me the love a little bit. But you know, my name of the game is just to win. But it's so hard to fight guys like him, like humble and all, man. I like guys like that just aren't like they get my respect all the way through, and you know, like a class A act, but don't butter me up though before the fight.
Dice que muchas gracias por los elogios, pero que tampoco lo elogies tanto, porque después es difícil pelear contra vos, ¿no? Dice que sos un tipo humilde, que sos un tipo de una clase altísima y que te respeta mucho, pero que bajemos un poquito con los elogios, porque si no, se pone difícil el asunto, ¿no?
Dile que tranquilo, que nos vamos a perder el respeto durante 10 rounds y luego seremos amigos, pero en 10 rounds nos vamos a dar leña.
Oh, don't worry, take it easy because he's gonna lose all respect for you during 10 rounds, then you can be friends again, okay?
That's what you love to see in our co-main event. Now we go to our main event, and one thing I love, it's a super welterweight card, and boxing fans all around want to see the best fighting the best. And one thing I love is this is one of the deepest, if not the deepest division in all of boxing, as you're seeing here. And the best are fighting the best in this division. Tony Harrison, as you mentioned, fought Jermell Charlo twice. Erickson Lubin has also fought Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo's fighting Brian Castano to become the undisputed champion of the division. Sebastian Fundora fought Sergio Garcia not too long ago. And now Sebastian the Towering Inferno and Erickson the Hammer Lubin are going head to head in our main event this Saturday night. I can't wait. I remember when Showtime and PBC rolled out their spring and summer slate. This was a fight that a lot of boxing fans were talking about because it is one of those true toss-up fights between Fundora and Lubin, and I cannot wait for them to get in the ring this Saturday night. First off with you, Sebastian Fundora, as you look forward, you have the biggest fight of your career ahead of you. How important is this for you against a guy like Erickson Lubin, who has won 6 in a row?
It's extremely important, you know. Thank you for everybody coming to this event. I'm glad that everybody's recognizing as a big fight, especially this year with all the fights going on. But I'm very excited to be here, and I just want to put on a good show this Saturday.
What does it mean? You've been on many cards with Premier Boxing Champions. As you see, your promoter, Samson Lukowitz, who, again, he always kept telling us, you know, watch out for this guy. Watch out for this guy. You know, even when you were fighting on non-TV portions of the cards, and then you slowly moved your way up, you were co-main events, and now you are headlining here on Showtime. What does that mean to you to be in your main event?
It just shows that hard work pays off, you know. All these fighters, we all grew up at the same time, and me and Lubin, both growing up in Florida, it's nice to be recognized and to show that all the hard work pays off eventually.
Now, when you're facing a guy like Erickson Lubin, he has really hit his stride over the last few fights. He's extremely athletic. How do you plan to cut off his mobility in the ring?
I'm not going to say in front of everybody. I'm just going to do what I do on TV. You know, we'll figure it out on Saturday night.
And now we'll turn to your opponent, Erickson Hammer Lubin, as you have not let the loss against Jermell Charlo define your career. You have come back and won, knocking down top contender after top contender, 6 straight, and now you are in the precipice of getting back to a world title opportunity. This is for the interim WBC super welterweight belt. What have you learned about yourself over the last several years and winning 6 straight?
I've always knew I'll be right back to, you know, title contention. You know, I just dared to be great early. You know, I tried to, you know, unthrone Charlo at an early age. You know, I was like 22 years old. I just had turned 22 years old. And, you know, I was just daring to be great. But I always knew I'd be right back in this position. I always knew I'd be one of the top dogs. You know, I was in that fight. I was in that fight with Charlo with just 3 years of experience as a pro. And now, you know, that it's been almost 5 years since that fight. So my experience only just gets better and better. And I only get better every time I step in that ring. And, you know, I want to show that I'm the best at 154 pounds. And, you know, get into that fraternity of the pay-per-views and the highest paydays. So that's why I'm doing it.
How have you assessed a guy like Sebastian Fundora in his past performances? And I'm sure you and your trainer, Kevin Cunningham, have been watching a lot of tape. How have you assessed him, and how does that matchup shape up for you?
I mean, we don't underestimate nobody. You know, he's a tall statue of a guy. You know, he's 6'6", 6'7", whatever they want to list him at. But, you know, I think skills pay the bills. You know, we go into camp and we draw up a game plan, and on fight night we execute it to, you know, our best ability. And, you know, he's a good fighter, he comes in shape. But like I said, skills pay the bills.
Now, I know you and your trainer, Kevin Cunningham, you know, from Orlando, Florida, but you moved your camp to Las Vegas here. And first off, why the change? And in training camp, how have you been able to prepare? I mean, Sebastian Fundora, he's 6'6" at 154 pounds. Were you able to find, you know, sparring similar to mimic the style a little bit, because that is such a unique build?
Yeah, well, we got away because we wanted to be isolated, wanted to be away from, you know, friends, family, no distractions. You know, I leave the gym and I go straight to my room, putting on film, putting on the greats, myself, you know, Fundora, I study my tape. But, you know, Kevin's a mastermind in this game. You know, he's dealt with multi-world champions. He's dealt with, you know, just some of the greatest fighters in our era. So, you know, I plan to be no different. I plan to come here and do great things. And Saturday night, you know, it's just, you know, the start. It's been started. You know, we just continuing it. So legacy.
First off for you, Fundora, prediction Saturday night, first main event, live on Showtime Championship Boxing. How do you see it playing out?
Oh, we're just here to win. That's all whatever way it was, like Tony Erickson said, whatever way it is, we're just here to win.
Same question to you, Hammer.
I'm here to make a statement. I'm here to win in dominant fashion.
My name is Chris, and I'm all the way here from Anchorage, Alaska at Scalp Carolinas, and I'm here for my second treatment of SMP. Well, I was sitting at home one day and going over my Facebook page, and they have different, you know, like advertisements popping up, and I saw one for SMP, and I saw some pictures of some guys, you know, before and after, and I was looking at that, and you know, it caught my attention, so I Googled it. SMP, nothing showed up in my area. So, you know, I did a little more research, and all of a sudden, Scalp Carolinas popped up in the web browser. So I started watching his videos and seeing all the reaction from all the other people. We talked on the phone, we made appointments and everything. I sent him pictures, and he looked at them, and I was like, can you fix this? And, you know, he pretty much said, no problem. My first session, he made me feel extremely comfortable. It was almost like I was talking to family. He started, and during the whole treatment, we talked, and, you know, about our families and our life, and, you know, and things that he does and things that I do. And before I know it, the first session was over. When you see someone doing something that they love, as much as I see Enoch Glover love what he does, it shows in his work. I wouldn't point anyone in any other direction but here to North Carolina, Scalp Carolinas, to get this done.
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Diki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodiki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.